Hi, everyone. This is Jason, and welcome back to the channel. Joining me today is Tijana Gertner. She's the Chief Product Officer of Anchor.io, and we're going to be talking today about the project. We're going to be talking about stablecoins and how Tijana got involved in the cryptocurrency space. Tijana, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
So my first question, and this is the general question that I ask my guests, is how did you first become involved with cryptocurrency?
Actually, it was, I think, a strange entrance into the space, at least for me. I never planned it. When it comes to my career, I always thought I would be a journalist and stick to that. But at some point in time, a contact of mine came and said, I have this cryptocurrency website. I need ghostwriters. I think you would fit right into it. And I had to get acquainted with the space. I started reading and getting more and more interested, more intrigued in, how does this technology work? And that's when I started doing reviews for ICOs. During that huge expansion period in 2017, where you could find the most scammers, I got that lovely task of telling if someone's a scammer or not. Checking out their projects, their teams, their plans, reading dozens upon dozens of white papers. And trust me, that was tiring. And basically, that's how I entered the space.
Anchor was the first company that you actually became involved with?
Yes. To be quite honest, after writing, I think, 20 reviews or so, I became completely skeptical about any new project that appeared in the space. I could find something crucially wrong with everything. And then a friend of mine came in and said, look, there's this project and they're working with a team here from Belgrade. They're developing a new cryptocurrency.
Right.
My first reaction was, really? You want me to look into that, right? But they brought me in, and instead of introducing me to the CEO and COO of the company, they introduced me first to the team who worked out the Anchor tokenomics. PhD in economics, several really exquisite scientists took their time, sat with me, and explained what they're doing and how Anchor is going to function and what it's based upon and how it's really going to be a stable currency. And they impressed me to the core. Now it was me who really wanted to join the project. They got me excited about it, because the first thing that I understood about Anchor is that it can help not just the organizations or companies or conglomerates, it can help us, everyday common Joe, right?
Right.
It can help you preserve the value of what you're holding. Make sure that whatever you earn doesn't lose value over time. And that's how I entered this team and fell in love with the project. Now I'm talking about it like it's my baby.
Well, we all do that sometimes. Okay, so let's talk about Anchor. So Anchor is a stable coin, but Anchor is a 2-token algorithmic stablecoin pegged to global economic growth. That's something.
That's a mouthful.
That's a mouthful. So it's how does that work exactly? Like, for example, USDT is pegged to the US dollar and some other assets. The petro in Venezuela is supposed to be pegged to oil reserves. So how do you peg a stable coin to global economic growth?
Well, first you create a very demanding, time-consuming algorithm that calculates that global economic growth. So basically, when you look at the global economy as a whole, and you take a look 25 years back, which is what we did, you will see that there's a trend of growth. Like, global economy is on average growing approximately 2.5% per year. Now, I know there are years when it's only 0.6%, but I also know there are years when it's 3.2%. Mm-hmm. So it all boils down to 2.5. And this growth isn't just something that we believe exists. You go back, you track GDPs, real GDPs of each country in the world. You put them all into an algorithm. You use certain weights. You use our FX index, and you get a number that actually shows this stable trend of economic growth. You get actually a nominal expression of the, let's say, growth of the global economy, which is something that, as far as I know, no one's done before.
Yeah, this is actually the first time I've heard of that. That's why I was so excited to speak with you about it. That's really interesting. The so Anchor is actually made up of two tokens. It's the ANCT, which is used for payments, and the DOCT, which is the utility token. So was there a specific reason why that model was chosen? Why two instead of just one?
Well, when you look into other cryptocurrencies, when you look into other stable coins, and when you look into seigniorage shares, uh, you can see that there is a certain lacking in stable coins, in cryptocurrencies, something that's preventing them from being both scalable and stable long term.
Right.
So if you want something that will have a way to stabilize itself over time, every time when there is a change in the market, you want to use a two token model. So for instance, in our case, whenever for any reason our payment token, Anchor token, should go above the MMU, which is our value peg, we have an expansion phase, which means that people who are holding dog tokens get those dog tokens converted into anchors, which means that we increase the supply on the market, thus decreasing the demand and making sure that the price remains the same. You couldn't do this with one token model.
Okay. When you're rolling out a project like Anchor, um, what was the original goal? Because when we first started speaking, we were talking about payment, not just for companies, but also for you and I, right? So is the intention of Anchor to be something that you could use to purchase goods and services with?
Yes, of course. Uh, we are working on implementing Anchor as such. We're talking to potential partners in retail. But other than that, so you should be able to purchase, I don't know, a voucher for a massage with anchors, or to purchase tech, or to go to, I don't know, any of the numerous drop shipping websites and get whatever you want. That's one of the ideas behind Anchor, because I know this doesn't resonate best with the US market that feels like it has one of the most stable currencies around. But if you look into the less developed markets, you will see a need for a stable currency, because their domestic currencies aren't as stable. And as someone who comes from Serbia, I know.
Hmm.
So every time when there's a change on the global market, our salaries become either less valuable or more in rare occasions. But when they become less valuable, that can really hit a home budget, you know?
Right.
And if you want to, I don't know, get a stable salary that is not going to lose 20 or 300% overnight, which happened in Iran, you want a coin that you want to have an alternative to a bank, to a fiat currency. You want something like Anchor, something that's stable regardless of what's happening with fiat markets.
Right. Right. And I mean, and that's why I can understand why someone would want to get involved with a stable coin, is for that very reason. We saw in the last week or so the price of Bitcoin and most altcoins nosedive. So, if that's my paycheck, I really can't afford to have happen, right? So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
no, I definitely understand what you're saying, and thank you so much for your insights into that. I wanted to ask, because Anchor is on Liquid right now. It's on the Liquid exchange.
Yes.
Are you planning on rolling out to any other exchanges, or are you just going to stay there for right now?
So our plan is to roll out on different exchanges every few months. Our initial launch on Liquid was within the beta testing phase, which which is almost completed. We're satisfied with the results. We didn't catch any bugs, any errors in the system. There were no security breaches, so we're comfortable with launching on other exchanges as well. Right now, we're planning on launching on IDEX soon.
Nice. Nice.
I promise I'll let you know when that's when those news are ready for everyone.
Appreciate that.
And after that, well, that has to remain a secret, but we are planning on launching on other top 20 listed exchanges. We are looking into exchanges that are not just known for their volumes, but also for not using wash trading and similar techniques.
Right.
We want to always be transparent and trustworthy, so we're trying to make sure that all of our partners are trustworthy and completely transparent about how they're doing their business.
Right. And when you're dealing with people's payroll and
Yeah, you
have to
want to be
be,
sure that the other side is
everyone has to be above the board, people. Okay.
yeah.
So, okay. So one more question, and it has to do with, have you, what are the real hurdles that you've come across in developing Anchor? Um, it's based in Singapore, is that correct?
No, it's based in Switzerland.
Based in Switzerland. Okay. So it's based in Switzerland. And but of course, we're rolling out into an international market. So have you had any pushback, or have you had anyone saying you can't do that here? Like, have you run into that yet?
Well, not into that particularly. In terms of hurdles, to be quite honest, one of the big challenges was how to implement our entire system, the way our tokenomics were designed, onto Ethereum. Um, and after that, biggest challenge was making sure that we're not dealing with scammers in the space. It might sound like I'm repetitive, but we've had so many people approach us with offers that were that sounded too good to be true, and it turned out that they were too good to be true. But whenever you need someone to hire someone externally, another partner, or to find someone to work on testing with, you have to be extremely careful. And for me, considering the fact that this is the first crypto project that I'm actively involved on, this was a series of learning experiences.
Of course. And you know what? It's a learning experience for us all. One reason why I do these videos is because this is for new people. It's for people who haven't been in the space for a number of years and who want to know what's going on. And it could be quite confusing for, a person who doesn't know. I mean, so I
Yeah,
think
it can. I remember when I started getting acquainted with the entire space, first you get confused by the amount of platforms out there,
right,
by what people are offering. Is it something that is mineable or isn't it?
right,
How does it really work? How can I benefit from it? And those are all completely logical questions for anyone.
right. No,
You
and
wouldn't
that's
want
true.
to put your earnings into, and that's one of the reasons why crypto is having so much trouble with wide adoption. We're not providing people with enough info. We are not talking to people outside of our existing communities.
Right.
Instead, we're talking to other people who understand the cryptocurrencies, and we're patting ourselves on the back like, yeah, we're doing a great job in
Right.
terms of adoption.
No, you know what? That's 100% true. I mean, and I think at a point we're all guilty of that, because you have the people who are primarily into Bitcoin and they see everything else as other, they
Alt.
right, the alts. And then
Yeah.
when it comes to stablecoin, everyone wants to turn up their nose because stablecoins tend to be pegged to a real world asset. But it's like, well, you have to remember that we're not all in this for this, we have different reasons for being in this. And
Yeah.
the people who want to be able to buy bread, we need to have something a little bit more stable than something that'll, I mean,
That will plummet overnight. Yeah, I know.
right.
I know.
You know,
That's one of
and
the reasons why I'm so passionate about this project, because when you look into it, we all really need something that's completely independent from our governments, our banks, from global banks. So decentralized solutions, cryptocurrencies, blockchain-based solutions are what really has the potential to change the face of global economy.
right. Yes.
And if we keep on doing it the right way, I think that people will understand eventually. And projects such as Venus and Libra that get a lot of publicity
Right.
are just going to bring more people in. They're going to want to check out what else is there. Okay, so I heard of Libra. Let me see which other stable coins are out there.
Right.
And they're going to recognize the value in projects that are really stable, that are really on blockchain,
Right.
and that promise a long-term potential for future growth and development.
Right. And I couldn't have said it better myself. And I think we're going to leave it right there. So thank you, Tijana, for taking the time today to speak with me and for coming on my channel. Everyone, if you want to learn more about Anchor, the website is theanchor.io. I'm going to link that in the description along with the Anchor white paper so you can have a look and see for yourself. So once again, Tijana, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jason. And if any of your viewers are interested in Anchor or have any comments on the white paper, they can contact us on our socials, leave their comments, start a discussion. We're always open for input.